Hi, this is Robert Miller, and I'm here in front of the Southwest Justice Center in Marietta. This courthouse was built actually next to the French Valley Airport, which is a private pilot or a private airport, which is why you can hear airplanes buzzing around behind me. But I wanted to talk about the absorption of alcohol into the body and how that affects a DUI case. Alcohol is, of course, a substance that's been around forever. It's caused by fermenting yeast, although it can traditionally by fermenting yeast, although anything that grows as a grain or that has carbohydrates, especially sugars, can form into alcohol once it's fermented. And for centuries, for thousands of years, mankind has used alcohol from a variety of substances for a variety of effects. Alcohol can be ingested into the body into a number of ways, including inhaling alcohol, inserting alcohol, and of course imbibing alcohol, which is the most common way that people get alcohol into their systems. Because alcohol is a central nervous system depressant, it actually doesn't affect humans noticeably until it gets into their central nervous system. And the primary way it does that is by going through the bloodstream. Alcohol is an affinity of water, and water, of course, is very rich in blood cells. And if you take a drop of alcohol, in fact, into a glass of water, it'll evenly distribute throughout the glass of water. And it'll do the same thing in a human body. It'll keep moving around as it's being pumped through the bloodstream until it is evenly distributed throughout the body. So that's one of the reasons why blood alcohol has been a measure of a person's intoxication ever since scientific studies were done on alcohol, starting in the 1860s and at an accelerating rate throughout the 1920s when a lot of the DUI laws started out. Alcohol is something that is affected as far as its absorption into the body by food. If you have something to eat before drinking alcohol, then that will close the pylorem or the pyloric valve, and that's actually the muscle at the bottom of the stomach that keeps food and even liquids from entering the intestinal system. The way that works is that if you have alcohol after ingesting food or with food, because the pylorem closes, your alcohol is going to be introduced into the intestinal system at the same rate that the food is digested. So if you have something like simple carbs, those are digested first. Something like more complex carbohydrates, vegetables, whole grains, that would be the next fastest. Proteins are probably the next fastest after that, and fats take the longest to be ingested by the stomach and digested. So if you have a meal that's a little more heavy in complex carbohydrates, or especially proteins and fats, that will actually slow the absorption of alcohol into your system. The other thing, as I mentioned, since alcohol has an affinity for water, or is hydrophilic, that drinking water in between drinks of alcohol will definitely help your rate. The reason why this is important, of course, is that here in California, as in most states, it's not illegal to just drink and drive. It's illegal to drive above a certain limit. In California, that's a 0.08 or a 0.08, which means that by volume, or by weight rather, that there is a 0.08% of alcohol given a quantity of blood, and that's usually measured in milligrams when it's done by scientific testing. You can avoid a DUI or try to keep yourself below a 0.08 if you make sure that you have plenty of water, that you space out drinks along a long enough period of time, and that you eat something ahead of time. And I should mention, since I've heard it as sort of an urban legend, that eating foods after that supposedly soak up the alcohol, that doesn't really work. What matters is what you have to eat ahead of time, and that can affect the curve or flatten out the curve as far as the peak in blood alcohol level. If you just have a shot of any type of alcohol ahead of time and then not have anything in your stomach, the blood level is going to peak a lot more quickly and then dissipate just as fast the other direction. So I'm always available if anyone has questions about DUI defense or about drinking and driving laws, or what we do as DUI attorneys You can reach me through my website at expertlawfirm.com or call me toll-free at 877-568-2977. Thanks for watching.